who is the rookie you're most concerned about? And it's way too early to actually use the word concern.
Are we talking about draft picks or undrafted free agents as well, too?
Let's say
Anybody that's a kid?
Yeah, you could be concerned about an undrafted free agent. And again, it's way too early to be concerned. These are unfounded concerns.
Yeah, it's funny because as the draft went on, I felt much better about the draft picks because if at first you didn't get it, when you start to put things together, you start to figure out the vision for them, right? Like Tariq Castro-Fields, I think he is more of a safety than he is. Okay. Womack is somebody that I kind of looked at and said, huh? And then you think about it, he's kind of nickel. Like he literally, his measurables and his size, they mirror K'Wan Williams. He's just a little bit faster. And so it feels like the natural replacement, right? I'm more concerned about the undrafted free agents. And it's one guy in particular, I think that 49er fans have like enamored themselves with.
Oh, this is a good call. Yeah, do it. Yes. Say this.
Leon O'Neal is the guy. And
you know what? Because he has a chip on his shoulder. He's the one guy with the chip on his shoulder, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, 49er fans fell in love with him. He's an infectious personality. I understand that. And this has little
and they had heard of him before the draft, right?
Right.
He was on their radar.
And he was in the SEC, was one of the highest rated safeties by PFF. That's great. Yeah. I'm not necessarily talking about his skills. What I think is I think that this draft was so well done by the 49ers and the undrafted free agents because Donovan West is almost a lock to make the 53 when you look at his contract. $10,000 up front, $100,000 guaranteed. That's not a throwaway player. So Donovan West is going to make this team. There are going to be good players that aren't going to make this roster. And it's not going to be because they're not good. It's just there's only a certain amount of places that you can put people. And you can't hide everyone on the practice squad because then they can get clean. So in terms of me being concerned, I have concerns that Leon O'Neal sticks because George Odom's a lock. Hufanga's a lock. I think they believe in Tavares more. There's three guys that are in that extra spot where Jimmy Ward, is mirroring, is across from. So I'm not concerned because I don't think he's a good ball player. I just think that there's only so many places that guys can stick, and I don't think they're going to get rid of any of the linemen for Leon O'Neal.
Fair. That's a good one. I'm going to go with Ty Davis-Price, and I'm going to use the caveat like it's early, and I'm not good at judging running backs in practice. So I watched him in 7-on-7. Okay, that's not football. But I guess like the book on him is that he's a really hard runner, big, tough runner. I mean, I expect that's going to be true. I'm sort of looking like, is there more? You took him in round 3. I guess usually where you're looking for like a 3-down running back, hopefully someone who can start and stay on the field. And I know he's supposed to be a hell of a blocker, but just first impression, doesn't look like he trusts his hands. Like he can catch warming up, but once you got him in a 7-on-7, he will drop stuff like wide open. I don't know. That was kind of the book on him. And then just comparing him to the undrafted free agent running back, Jordan Mason. I mean, he doesn't look that much faster than Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason ran like a 4.58. I know this guy, Ty Davis-Price, ran a 4.48, but he dropped like a cool 15 pounds to do it. I just was kind of hoping to be a little bit. The first time I saw Debo on the field, I'm like, damn, yeah, that's a real NFL athlete. I see it. Ayuk. Maybe it's easier at wide receiver, but him, I'm skeptical. I guess I'm just saying I'm skeptical with Ty Davis-Price.
Yeah, and I think that if you're going to have any negatives towards his game, it would be in the pass game. Not pass protection, right? That's going to be something that's there. And I don't necessarily think that that's going to be how they automatically utilize him. Sure, that's concerning because you kind of want to hit people with element of surprise. And Jeff Wilson caught passes here and there, especially when the situation dictated and it was right. So you do want him to be able to catch passes.
Famously, like, 2019 to win the game against Arizona. Exactly. Pass over his head from Jimmy Garoppolo. True.
Exactly. There you go. So with Ty Davis, it's more that I feel like this draft pick was, this is your bruiser. This is your guy down the stretch that if like at the end of games, you can get like tough yards and you're kind of pitching this guy to Debo like, hey man,
you don't have to do this because he was the bruiser, right? Mm-hmm. You was the big dude. Yep. He wasn't just the Mostert. You were the bruiser as well.
Right. So and look, I think that your concerns are more about the track record with running backs in the 3rd round. We don't know what Trey Sermon is. He was in the 3rd round. Joe Williams, we don't like to say his name around here. He was in the 3rd round. Does he fall into that sort of category where we look back a year later and we're either skeptical or he's just not playable? We don't know what Trey Sermon is. I still haven't necessarily closed the book on him. Last year wasn't encouraging for whatever reason. I'm still of the mind that something happened behind the scenes that nobody's talking about, whether it's being late to a meeting or maybe not understanding the playbook fast enough, something, right? I don't think the guy is awful, but I think the skepticism comes from the other third round running backs that were taken, and you just took one last year, and now you're doubling down and taking another one this year. So I think we now have a historical precedent with Kyle Shanahan in drafts. Third round, get ready to get a running back at this point. I mean, this is 3 out of what, 5 years that they've done something like this, back-to-back years. So I think the skepticism comes more from, will this third round running back break the mold of these other two, as opposed to his skill set, which I think he is a little bit sneaky faster than people give him credit to. Like, it takes him a little while to get to his top speed, but when he gets to it, he's pretty fast. Yes. But yeah, the pass pro thing is good. But again, you got to see it happen in games. So I'm with you at least on that point.
I guess like I'm holding him to a higher standard. I'm like, well, based on where you drafted him, I'm expecting him to have some like potential in the pass game. And I think that's why they took Trey Sermon last year. Because if you watch Trey Sermon in practice, he's a decent route runner. He's big. He has long arms. He has good hands. He trusts him. That's not Ty Davis Price at all. So maybe the Niners are like, look, we just wanted a rotational guy in our committee who runs a certain way. And if we get that, we're happy. And if at that level, fine. If that's all they wanted, then I think they'll probably get it. Because I think they were hoping for more with Trey Sermon. They're like, man, you don't even run hard. Like, can we just get someone who runs hard, please? Please.
Right, and has the potential to stay healthy just in case. Elijah Mitchell, while they turned it over to him, I felt it was less a historical change in terms of how Shanahan uses backs and more of a need. That's why you saw Debo a little bit more. A little bit of my thing with Debo is a little bit of that feels like they were trying to curtail his receiving yards so they can come back to the table and say, hey, you were on pace for whatever, here's what you got. But also it was out of necessity. Like, you definitely needed to have that guy, that game breaker, and that's what they were kind of missing. So I think Ty Davis Price just profiles as a guy who can get it done, move the chains here and there, and just stay healthy and not force them to rely on Trey Sermon or I think Jermichael Hasty is the one that's on the bubble, right? Or Debo. Like, I think Jermichael Hasty's on the bubble. I think that Jeff Wilson's got to watch his back a little bit too now. So yeah, and who knows? Maybe Jeff Wilson coming off that injury, maybe this year he'll have his explosion back, be a little bit better, but it's just, it feels like you said, insurance and being able to rely on somebody for a little bit more than just, hey, 1 or 2 carries per game or 3 or 4.
I do like the Ty Davis Price pick in the sense that he's different than the rest of the running backs on the team. And it's like, because Kyle used to be the guy like, I want a committee of 4 running backs who are 195 pounds and are all exactly the same. He's way different now. He's evolved. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing. I guess I'm just saying, though, like, just after watching one practice with the guy, I don't think he's going to be starting over Elijah Mitchell. And again, I'm a terrible judge of running backs in practice, but just looking at the athletes, like, I'll probably still go with Elijah Mitchell at this case. And maybe fans are expecting, third round draft pick running back, he's going to start. I don't know about that. I think he'll probably just be part of the committee as a rookie.
I don't think so either. And I wasn't necessarily as high on Elijah Mitchell. Like, Elijah Mitchell had an incredible year this year, but still, I mean, I think he's still got to be the starter for a little bit. But you also have to be able to keep him healthy because he got injured 3 times. And he's not that guy that worked
the whole time.
Yes. So, you have to keep him healthy.